can get on. Sorry. So that you can get on our roster, so that she can send you meeting updates and keep you, updated with everything that's going on. And then you can be on our roster too, that we are putting together, that we're putting on our social media Facebook page to make the community aware of the services that all of you offer, so that we can be known as that resource. If I visit the OACS Facebook page, I can find the resources that I'm looking for. I can even maybe put in a request. This is what's going on in my family. I need support. I need to know where I can turn to. We can be that resource for our community. So we want to make sure that you all are on that roster and that you're all participating on our Facebook page. You're liking the post, sharing the post, inviting people, because that's how we're going to grow our presentation. Okay. And it looks like we have 10 people with us on Zoom today, so that's super exciting. So this is absolutely our biggest meeting ever, so super incredible. And so just another friendly reminder, I know I just said it, but we are up to 242 members on our Facebook page. And so our goal is to keep shooting for higher numbers. So for 2023, we're shooting for 350 members by the end of the year. And so just keep inviting and sharing. And we are looking for presenters to continue to fill up this room. And let's open this door. Let's make it to where we're utilizing this entire space. So I think Amy just shared with me this morning that we have somebody booked now for March. So we're just looking for, continuing to fill up our roster of presenters for the year. So connect with Amy if you have any suggestions, or you would like to be a presenter as well. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce Candace Dove, and she is a social worker with Area Agency on Aging here in Stanislaus County, and she's going to share with us today about all the great programs and services they offer. So welcome.
Hi, I'm Candace, like she said. Oh, that's me. I'm actually going to pass it off to my colleague here, Trisha with Project Hope, and she is going to kick it off and share about her agency first.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all for your time and attention today. Again, my name is Trisha Grant. I'm the lead clinician for the Project Hope program. But like Ms. Candace said, both she and I work for the Department of Aging and Veteran Services. So today I'm going to give you a little bit of context of what that is, and then we'll zoom into my specific program, which is Project Hope. And then she is going to finish off with her specific program of M.S.S.P. Okay, so 1 second there, just bear with us. All right. We are going to sort this out and be able to navigate. There we are. Okay, everyone can see that okay? Excellent. All right. So Project Hope is one of the many programs under the Department of Aging and Veteran Services. Hope is helping others while promoting empowerment. We serve those 60 years of age and over in M.S.S.P County, and one of our favorite quotes is that of Christopher Reeves: "Once you choose hope, anything is possible." So what is Project Hope? Like I mentioned, it is one of the many programs under the Department of Aging. But may I ask, just by a show of hands, how many of you have heard of AAA? Not roadside assistance. Area Agency on Aging. Fantastic. Oh, great. So yes, we are one of 32 of area agencies on aging in California. In California, the Department of Aging contracts and provides leadership and direction to 33 area agencies on aging that coordinate a wide array of services to seniors and adults with disabilities at the community level, and serve as a focal point for local agency concerns. And so you can see that we have just a few of many of the brochures under our umbrella or our department. And so This is a list of a few others that we may not have had the brochures to, like, for example, the Ombudsman Program of Modesto, congregate meals sites, Meals on Wheels, Catholic Charities Homemaker Program, case management. So there's an army of people and agencies and programs who are here to provide services for our seniors. One, I want to ask, how many of you have seen the main publication, the pink pamphlet there in the middle, just by a show of hands? Fantastic, fantastic. So we'll get back to that, but I'm just curious to see how many of you are familiar with it. So Project Hope in general promotes the campaigns Each Mind Matters and Stand Up for Wellness. So our team, our director of the department is Margie Palomino. We have our program manager, Ms. Stephanie Navarretti, who is present. So thank you for your presence, Ms. Stephanie. We also have our volunteer coordinator, Ms. Vicki Obranza. Myself, I'm the lead clinician, Patricia Grant. I also support field instructor for M.S.S.P students at CSU Stanislaus and the clinical supervisor for associate clinical social workers. We also have my colleague, Vanessa Valenzuela, who is our Spanish speaking counselor and associate clinical social worker. We have a wonderful volunteer who is a retired LCSW, Ms. Kathleen Goodrich, who volunteers in the office and serves as a navigator. And we also host, like I mentioned, graduate student interns from California State University Stanislaus Department of Social Work. So after all that is said, what does Project Hope do? In general, we provide emotional support and social visits for our seniors in Stanislaus County. And so just to give you an idea of who may meet that criteria, they have to reside in Stanislaus County. And unfortunately, sometimes we get referrals from like Escalon, it's right there, but unfortunately that falls under San Joaquin County. But I know that we do have some programs and partners who are in the Stockton area. So this is why this is such a great opportunity to collaborate with other agencies. But we are just limited to Stanislaus County. One would have to be 60 years of age or over. Currently experiencing difficult emotions and situations that they're struggling to cope with. I can say personally, that's me right now. I think we're all kind of stressed a bit, right? Life stressors has a way of, touching everyone. And so we just have to have them, they have to be open to talking to someone about some of the challenges that they have, willing to talk about their chief complaints and concerns, and not currently participating in counseling because we don't want to duplicate services. So some criteria that may make someone ineligible for our program. If they are placed in a skilled nursing facility or long-term care facility. If they are unable to comply or actively participate due to cognitive or memory impairment. If there's a history of hospitalizations due to a 5150. Now in this area, you will see that it's underlined because we do understand that with some of our seniors, there are psychosis-related symptoms due to UTIs. And so we have had seniors who have had 5150s or have been hospitalized, but we screen for that. So please no worries if that is the case. And then also homicidal or suicidal ideations. If someone is actively homicidal or having suicidal ideations, that's definitely in need of a higher level of care. Now, there are times that we do have someone who may state that they're having these thoughts or feelings. It's not an automatic call to the police or 5150. We are able to screen for suicide, but just wanting to let you know that if it's active, then that would be ineligible. Okay. So referrals for our program. This is basically what our referral form looks like. And up top there, we do have a link to the website, so I'll be sure to show you how to navigate our website so that you can get to this referral form. We have a sign-up sheet going around, so if you need to put your email addresses, we can send you direct links for our most recent updated referral sheet. But basically, anyone can make a referral. We receive referrals from doctors, nurses, caregivers, social workers, family members, volunteers, and people even refer themselves. All we ask is that if anyone makes a referral for our program, please make sure that the person that you're referring is aware. We want to make sure that there is trust there. And I say that we Google, and I get it. There are times where individuals feel, oh yeah, they can really benefit from this program, but they may not be interested, and that's okay. There's times where we made a referral or we made and they say no initially, but when we send them our program information, they give us a call back months later. It's totally fine. Doesn't hurt our feelings whatsoever. But yes, so please we ask because of safety and we want to avoid scams that there's a warm handoff so that they are aware that we will be calling them and that you share their information. Okay, but this is our referral form, basic information. And yes, again, we can, and I'll show you how to access it online. So let's see if I can navigate this screen here. It won't let me. Well, we'll save that for later, okay? All right. So back to our main publication. Think Pink is what we always go to. It is a directory of information services. And if there is someone in this room who serves Stanislaus County, if you don't see yourself in here, give us a call. We will put you in there. This is something that we hand out, and we hand it out often because we're always updating it as programs change, funding changes. And so we always say, think Pink, call it in. We have a live senior information specialist that's available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If you have any questions about local resources available to you. So the process with our referral, I know this looks a little complicated. This is truly for training purposes. We don't want to stress out our audience. So I'll just break it down to what to expect when you fill out that initial referral. So you can make a referral by calling in to the senior information line for the team. If you don't have the form available to you, they will take the client's information and then they will submit that referral to us. So you can call it in, you can fax it to us, or if it's internal, we can receive emails of those referrals. And so after we receive the referral, we do initial phone call, we do a phone screening, we get an idea of chief complaints, concerns, and if the client is even interested in participating in our program. If they are, that usually results in a home visit. We do conduct home visits. We are able to do visits in the office, so people can come into the office, or we can complete that via phone. And if someone is simply just not interested, we ask permission to send them our information in case they change their mind later or have any questions. So if they say no, that's pretty much the end to that screening process. If they
Go
say,
to George again?
oh, I'm sorry.
That on Zoom?
Oh, oh, so sorry.
I think you have a question.
Was there a question? Sorry.
I think
Friday on.
That's.
We have a question,
All right.
put it in the chat.
And we'll definitely make sure that we answer any questions that are in the chat, so thank you. I'm sorry, so if I may, so after there is a home visit, initial screening, a person has expressed interest in participating in the program, we do a in-depth assessment where we're gathering demographic information, consent for services, of course, and then we start the therapeutic process, whether they participate in counseling, navigation, or friendly visitor, and we'll go over the components of the program in detail. All right, so these are our 3 components of the program. Professional counseling, providing early intervention counseling services, coping skills, conflict resolution. This is a short-term program, and what I mean by short-term is we're allowed about 6 to 8 sessions. Sometimes that can take as few as 3 months, sometimes 6 months, and sometimes a little longer than that, just depending on situations. We do have some flexibility there, but it is short-term. Navigation provides support and service coordination, motivation, and encouragement in meeting short-term goals. So an example of that is if someone is very overwhelmed, struggling to make doctor's appointments, and just haven't been able to contact, and they get frustrated. Our navigators will call them on a weekly basis, of course, initially they identify the specific goals that they need to accomplish, and then the navigator helps them every week to take the steps towards making those goals. So the example that I gave you, if they are struggling to get connected to their PCP, the navigator will either support them with their permission of making the initial phone call with them on the line or without them. And then if they have the doctor's appointment, they'll get the date, call them the day of, call them afterwards to follow up and see if there's anything else needed. We've in the past have supported our clients or participants in making notes of questions that they may have to ask the doctors. So this is just a small example of what our navigators do. They also encourage our clients. I think the goal is to increase socialization. We provide referrals and information for socialization opportunities that are local. And not so much, we actually have to heavily promote a program that's called, it's the CalBRE Well Connected. How many of you have heard of CalBRE Well Connected? If not, fantastic, I look forward to providing that information. It's basically like kind of Facebook for seniors. Online, it's an online and telephone community where you can engage in various activities. They have a little something for everyone. Gratitude, Bible study, name that tune, noggin jogging, a really, truly a wonderful resource, and we can be able to share that with you so it can be dispersed. But that's just an example of some of what our navigators do. Friendly visitor program. It's ongoing, and so unlike the first two components, we've had our longest assignment for 5 years. And so we assign volunteers who are 18 years of age and over. They go through background screening with the county, and then we meet them together, see if it's a good match, and so they engage in various activities like going for walks, having lunch, playing games, and actually having a few clips so that you can see for yourself and hear from the volunteers and the participants of how they benefited from that program. So back to counseling. This is an example of how within our agency and our department, we really took a collaborative approach in assisting this young lady. This is a participant in the program who was blind and had a caregiver who passed away. And so she was dealing with grief, loss of her caregiver. She had lots of needs that needed to be met. And also, there was a situation where someone broke into her home while she was there. And so if it wasn't for the friendly visitor going to see her regularly, we would not have known what was going on with this young lady. So this particular situation, we were able to collaborate, not just with the friendly visitor, but with her manager there at the apartment complex, with a case manager who was able to help her get another caregiver, and then also APS to address the abuse that took place. She ended up participating in not just friendly visitor, but the counseling program to help her kind of cope with her losses. And so I have a clip here that I would, I see, there we go. Okay, thank you, lady. So I'd like to share this clip with you where we're engaging her in music therapy. That's her singing, by the way. And when you smile, the whole world stops, it stays for a while. It's when you're amazing, just the way you are. So this is just an example of how much that therapy really helped to brighten up her mood. And I came to learn a lot about this young lady, that she's a fan of Bruno Mars. And not just that, but her her friendly visitor and caregiver have a lot of fun with her now. There. Okay, so. Okay, there we go. That's fine. So we don't want them to sit back through all that again. So, next slide. We are so grateful for our volunteers. We could not do any of what we do without them. We have over 40 volunteers for our navigators and our friendly visitors. And so I just love visuals. This is a visual of all of our volunteers at volunteer appreciations. And we can see at the very top, even though you have to be 18 years of age or over to be a volunteer, we're kind of homing the youngins and getting them interested in helping us out. So we have a sweetheart 9 years old helping us with the banners that you see us using. And then this young lady here, she came with her parents. And so I feel that when they turn 18, they're going to hear from very soon. We'll be recruiting them. But here is a clip that I'd like to share with you. So that you can see for yourself how our volunteers and our participants benefit from the program. There we go. Get back there.
But I've always been a solitary guy. And this is a new stage in my life. I just finished taking care of both my parents for like almost 8 years. And I feel that you want to look at us and say, this is all we're going to do, new stage.
I feel more like a friend and a client. I don't feel like he come over because he's in his schedule. And I think we're friends or we're on the way. Oh.
What I have is not being lonely. I'm you know, besides what we've got to do, I've also, it's almost like instead of she being a client and me being volunteer, it's almost like we're co-clients. In other words, I'm getting company and friendship out of it.
It's a wonderful feeling to have a man come into my life on a friendly, just to be a friend. I don't know, it just kind of makes me feel. I'm like my kids, I love them when they do that.
It's important to make sure that we care well, because there are some who are grateful to have someone there for a full hour twice a month, and some really just want a phone call. Some people just be an hour is too much, so maybe just 30 minutes, but we really are very flexible and keep that in mind. So let's see here. Current slide, get the hang of this. All right. So moving forward, so who are the people that we serve? People that we serve are oftentimes experiencing some of the following: depression, isolation, especially after, and I would say during COVID, decline in health, struggling to adjust to physical limitations. They're dealing with grief loss, elder abuse, having difficulty with family dynamics. Lots of adjustment here, financial difficulties, and so these are the people that we serve. These are some of the issues that they're facing. But I like to put a picture with that because it's just so much more than words. These are the people that we serve. They're retired members of the community whose shoulders that we stand on, who we've benefited from their sacrifices, their contributions. These are individuals with purpose, who are worthy, and oftentimes in need of support. These are teachers, these are musicians, nurses, contributors to our community. These are our parents, our grandparents, fathers, uncles, aunts, neighbors, friends. There are past, present, our priority, and our future. And so this is why we're here. I think not just us, Project over the Department of Aging, this is why we're all here. And so if you know someone who's able to help you can, is there a difficult time or encouragement, don't just hesitate to contact us, but by all means, the purpose of being here to network and socialize. That way we can really serve our seniors and be a support to them in general. But of course, we would love for you to call us. We are here to help. And so this is our direct contact information. The one in bold is the pink number, 558. My manager is definitely not ready for direct information. My direct information, Ms. Vicki, our volunteer coordinator. So if you're open to volunteer opportunities, Ms. Vicki is who you would call. So wanting to leave this open, if there's any questions, I thank you for your time and attention. And I'm able to answer any questions anyone has. Oh, yes, and Ms. Candace has reminded me that we do have the pink brochures in the back, for you to, have access to. And so if there aren't any questions, I would like to, oh, yes.
You aware of the similar program in San Joaquin County?
And so one thing, honestly, I am not aware of one. Is there one, a project in San Joaquin?
I don't know, I just think it's fantastic, and I'm in San Joaquin County.
Well, I mean, we might have to, collaborate and extend Project Hope, actually, but there's nothing wrong with extending hope, right? That would be fantastic. Thank you for that. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So anytime there is a referral, that, do you prefer us to call that main line or can we call each individually?
So, to make a referral, call the main line,
Okay.
fax it in, or, actually, that was something I wanted to show you. Is that okay? Can I kind of navigate the, website? Okay, so, let's see here. This here. So this is our main website. Fantastic. Okay, so to get specifically to Project Hope, you would click here. We have a few links here for you. So we have our overview, but at the very bottom, or second from the bottom, we have a referral form. So that takes you to this directly, and you can save it. And so we're always updating it. So that's another way that you can access our referral.
This form is actually on the back counter as well with her business card and her brochure, all in that back counter.
Yes. All right, fantastic. Any other questions? Yes.
So volunteers that come into the patient's home, do they also, can they take them to an appointment or is it strictly just visiting?
Great question. So yes, our volunteers, unfortunately, because of confidentiality, they do have limitations. So going to doctor's appointments is not a part of their role. Taking them to the banks, things of that nature, errands, that is not in the role of our friendly visitors. However, if we become aware, and there's oftentimes where a friendly visitor will say, my client is saying that they need this, that, and the other, that's where we as the counselors, the navigators, will kind of jump in and to assist in getting those services to them. That way they can just focus on socialization. Yes.
Can they take them aside from the personal things, let's say they want to go to the movies,
Yes.
can they do that?
So in the past, they have, but because of risks and liabilities, we have really had to kind of crack down on, transportation, because things can happen, someone can fall and have an accident, and we don't want anyone to sue us or the county. So we do not encourage, that type of interaction. Yes, but however, some may if they have a family member or a neighbor, they may meet them somewhere like at the movies or the senior center. So, we are able to kind of help connect them to maybe transportation organizations or programs where they can maybe go on transportation together, like take the bus together if they're able to, but we refrain from having our friendly visitor volunteers help with kind of like transporting, lifting, and things of that nature. Yes, great question, thank you. Okay, any others? Yes.
They have to have any kind of insurance?
Insurance? Yes, so when we do the initial screening and all that for our volunteers, if they drive, we do have to have their driver's license and insurance information.
Health insurance?
Oh,
Health insurance.
our participants, no, thank you for clarifying. Yes, so health insurance does not matter. They don't have to have any insurance, and it's a free service. Did I just like to say that? It's a free service. Insurance there we have. All right, fantastic. Any other questions? And if I may, we are funded, we are PI program prevention early intervention, so we are funded through BHRS in the state. All right, so without further ado, I would like to introduce not just my colleague of M.S.S.P, but she is also a current graduate student who is interning with Project Hope. And so this is Ms. Candace, who is going to talk to you about the M.S.S.P program. It's kind of stuff.
Hi again. Yes, so I am Candace. I am one of the social workers for the multi-purpose senior services program I know it's a mouthful, you often can refer to us and we refer to ourselves as M.S.S.P. We are one of the 33, I think she said, agencies under the umbrella of Area of Aging and Department of Aging and Veteran Services. So what is M.S.S.P? So, like I said, we are one of the many programs, but we are a case management team, which includes 3 and then will be 4 social work case managers and our public defense. So together, the social workers, the nurse, our participants and their families, we work together to determine what services are needed in order for our participants to stay in their home as safely and independently as long as possible. So who qualifies for M.S.S.P? They must be a Stanislaus County resident. If they're not in Stanislaus County, every single county in California has an M.S.S.P. So if they're not in our county, like in the Escalon area, we can kind of help and refer and give them phone numbers to the other agencies in California. They do have to have a minimum age of 65. However, if they're getting kind of close to 65, give us a call. We'll still do the referral. We'll still put them on our list. That way, as soon as they do turn 65, we can call them and get the ball rolling to get them on. They do need to be receiving Medi-Cal benefits, in frail health or at risk of going to a nursing home, and they need ongoing need for case management services. And the big thing is willing to accept M.S.S.P services. And when I say M.S.S.P services, we on average contact our clients at least once a month, whether it's one of the social workers, our nurse, our interns, our student nurses, somebody is contacting at least once a month, if not more often, if things are needed. So when we say willing to accept, we just ask that they are willing to talk to us. Call us back if needed, or a family member, if they're unable to talk on the phone, or have that conversation, a family member is willing to work with us. So how do you become a participant? Anyone may call the senior information line, which is a pink brochure, again, think pink, which is up there and on there and all over the place. But the other thing is we also accept fax referrals and emails, and I also have hard copies in the back, and if anybody would like a emailed version of it, I can email the PDF to them. You guys can email it straight to me or fax it to us, and we receive them all that way as well. So once we get the completed referral forms, we check for eligibility. We actually give it to our manager, who will screen it, and then once that process goes through, then the potential participant will be contacted by one of our social workers or our nurse, and then either a home visit or a telephone call scheduled with the nurse and the social worker will be arranged to do that initial intake, and it takes about an hour to 2 hours, depending on all the information that we're getting. So the M.S.S.P team is dedicated to linking our participants that needed services. Some items need to be purchased, planning new services as needed, and we provide ongoing assessments of medical and social needs. So as things change and needs change, we can respond rapidly. We are dedicated to support and advocacy. Advocacy is our big thing. We will empower our participants to contact who they need to. We will send referrals. If we don't know a referral, we are asking around in our agency. We're asking around to our coworkers. We do the research to find the support or referral agency, company, anything that is needed. We are doing the research to find that and to connect our participants with that. We also work with coordinating care with the physicians and other professionals as needed, meaning sometimes we need prescriptions for medical equipment. Sometimes it's faster when they know a social worker is involved or a nurse is involved, and so we're reaching out to that doctor's office for them to make the process a little quicker, because we know it can take a little bit with doctors. Hopefully nobody's a doctor here. So what kind of services does M.S.S.P arrange? M.S.P coordinates a wide variety of services, some of which are already available, some of which you guys already know: adult healthcare, home health services, in-home support services, transportation and medical equipment. But there's also a whole array of services that are not known unless you need them. Some are specialized transportation, which means medical transportation, gurney transportation, wheelchair transportation, referrals to counseling with our awesome Project Hope. We assist with communication devices, that we refer to it's minor home safety repairs, but it's I want to say it's the Stanislaus home repair program. We send referrals out to them. Food supplements, Meals on Wheels, our green bag, our brown bag, and money management. We refer to rep payee, power of attorney. We have advanced directive connections, senior law projects, all of these agencies and I guess agencies that are not well known unless you end up meeting them, and then you have to search for them. So we are kind of not like a one-stop shop, but we are that connection to all the county agencies. Meet the team. So there's me, you guys can see me. So yes, our director is stepping out already. I think she is still on here. And then we have Kim, who's actually here today. This is our nurse. She does case management and has been a nurse for a few minutes. And tons of experience. Juanita, she is one of our social workers. She is also here today. And then we have Selene, who's actually at the office, and we will be adding a fourth social worker hopefully soon. So the great thing that I love about M.S.S.P is we are a teaching partner. M.S.S.P partners with Stan State to train the next generation of MSWs, which is Masters of Social Work, and our RN students. Our own site director, Stephanie Navarrete, she earned her degree at Stan State and is now a field instructor for the MSW students. That's actually how I started with M.S.S.P. I was their intern last year and was lucky enough to accept a position when it came available after my internship ended. And so the MSW interns, they get exposed to social work and case management setting, and they're a tremendous help. We absolutely love them. They are such a great help to us, and we learn from them, they learn from us. It's a great thing. And Kim, our nurse case manager, she actually is a preceptor for the nursing students. And the not just the nursing students, but the nursing students that go in to get their bachelor's. She works with them on an average of, I want to say, 6 weeks to expose our nursing students to community health. So, how to contact us? The senior information line, that's a huge one. We have somebody there from 8 a.m. to 4:30 Monday through Friday. He can either get your information written down and send it to, walk through the door and hand it to us, or he will just transfer you right over to us if anybody's at the desk. There is our San Antonio website that she actually brought up. M.S.S.P is under the Senior and Care Information Programs tab. You can email me. My business card is actually in the back along with M.S.S.P's brochure, the English and Spanish version of the senior information line, a referral, a copy of our referral as well, and all of Project Hope's contact information, their brochure and business card is back there as well. And then this is just the website. That link's not working. And then one quick little thing I wanted to add. So in March, we have a free family caregiver wellness retreat. So this is actually at our building at the Veterans Service Office on Coffee Road. And the flyers are back there along with her name is Tiffany. Her business card is back there as well. But this helps a little break for our caregivers. We have a speaker coming, there's breakout sessions, there's resource fairs, prizes. It's a great opportunity for our caregivers to kind of take a little break, and there is respite care. So if you are a caregiver and you need some respite care for your participants or clients so that you can come, that is available as well. Same number, right there on the top, and all those flyers are back there for everybody to take. And thank you. But I know we just dropped a lot of information. Are there questions? No. Yes.
You probably know what I'm gonna ask, Candace.
So I saw transportation on there, I don't know if that's related directly to the services you guys offer, but does that stand for dialysis patients also, because that's a big pain point in our community for our veterans, so.
So quick side note, her and I used to work together as we don't actually provide the transportation, like I don't drive anybody, you guys would be thankful for that. But we partner with Catholic Charities and some other agencies that can do transportation. We have not had a dialysis patient that needed the setup on a regular basis. But I don't see why we couldn't do it. We normally, you call us, say, hey, I have a doctor's appointment this date, there's the address, this is what time I need to be there. And I contact Catholic Charities, schedule it. They contact you and arrange it all yourselves. They can have wheelchair transportation, regular transportation. Gurney transportation is a little bit more, but I don't see why, we haven't had that issue, that, question come up before, but I don't see why we couldn't get a standing appointment going ahead of time for that. Yes, ma'am.
Dialysis patients can utilize Vantage Transport or Valley Medical Transport, and we can maybe build insurance for that.
And
I have a question, it's not regarding dialysis, it's just.
no worries.
I did not, flyers with, I work for that, regards to Modesto, I'm a, dementia behavior care. So we have families that are trying to, do veterans with this. So I always give them your pamphlet and tell them to call that number.
Yes.
And call you direct. And
Yes.
not go through any middle.
Well, not per se M.S.S.P, but if they call that senior line, we're actually in the building. So under our building, there's M.S.S.P, there's Project Hope, there's the veteran, and we're with the veteran services. So if you call that senior information line, he can actually refer them to the vet reps that are sitting right next to him. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. There's tons of brochures back there. It has all the phone numbers on it. Take them, hand them out. And if you have any questions later on, feel free to reach out to me. I'm open.
Oh, good. What a perfect start to the new year. I just feel so inspired, like my brain is like firing on all these cylinders, thinking about all the possibilities that are in front of all of us, the ability to communicate all this incredible information to our communities, and really from this support our community, love on our community, love on our seniors. It's just such an incredible gift and really just a blessing. And I participated in the Friendly Visitor Program a few years ago. And it was really a true blessing in my life, and I'm so glad that you shared that with us today. And again, just being able to put that content on social media, making our community aware of this incredible service. I'm certain that there's so many in our community that are just completely unaware of all these incredible services that are really making it. Thank you for today. And I'm so excited. We have 42 people in the room today. Any upcoming events that anybody would like to share with the group today? Don't be shy, you're among friends, raise your hand, let us know what you got going on. Anybody? We're all good? All right. Perfect, okay.
You can always share them on the Facebook page if you do have events coming up, or if you email them to me, then I can blast them out to everybody in your group. So if something comes up in the interim, let us know. We'll make sure that everybody hears about it.
Absolutely. If anybody came in after we kind of got started and you're new today, make sure to connect with Amy, through the takeoff. Just hand her your card so she can get you on our roster. And we're going to be meeting with Jeannie once a month. We want to start highlighting a service a month, right? That was one of our visions for this new year, really promoting, a service each and every month so that we can highlight specific services to the community. And next month, we will be hearing from my very good friend, Miss Anna Felix. She will be presenting to us next month. Our next meeting will be the second Thursday of the month. February 23rd, we'll be here at 10 a.m.
Sorry, 9th, that's wrong, 9th.
Oh, 9? Did I say it again?
16:30.
Oh, sorry. Let's do it again. February 9th. Second Thursday of the month at 10. Okay? And she'll be sharing financial advice for seniors. So I think that'll be really, really powerful. And Amy, come on up. Let's do a raffle.
So if you dropped your business card in here, if you don't have one, there's papers, you can just write your name and your phone number, but we have a raffle prize for each of our meetings that we will raffle off, and we have it right here. And if you did drop your business card in here and you're not on our email list, I will add you with your email on the card in here. If not, grab it.
I don't know if I win.
Juanita.
Today, everybody, thank you so much for your around network and know each other. Yes. How will we facilitate that? Should we all have to get to the front for a second? So let's all come to the front. Yeah.